Sometimes life doesn't break you in one moment, it breaks you slowly, bit by bit, regret by regret, and by the time you realize it, you're standing so far from home that you can't remember how to return. That's exactly where Aaron found himself, on a lonely road, with nothing but his wandering shadow and the weight of mistakes he couldn't undo. He had been walking for hours. The long, empty road stretched endlessly ahead, whispering reminders of everything he had been running from. His backpack felt heavy, but the guilt he carried was heavier. He had left home years ago, angry, proud, certain he didn't need anyone. But no matter how far he ran, one truth always followed him. You can escape places, but you can't escape your own heart. On that cold evening, Aaron stopped at a small roadside tea stall. Outside sat an old man, shivering in the freezing air. His clothes were torn and his hands trembled. Without saying a word, Aaron removed his own jacket and placed it around the man's shoulders. The old man looked up with watery eyes and whispered, "Pain becomes lighter when it's shared." Aaron didn't respond. He simply turned and continued the long walk ahead of him. But those words stayed with him, echoing inside like a forgotten truth. Night arrived quickly. The wind grew sharper and the darkness thickened. Ahead, Aaron noticed a faint glow. A little girl stood under a broken streetlight, holding a lantern almost as big as she was. When their eyes met, she smiled softly. "Are you lost?" she asked. Aaron hesitated, then answered quietly, "Maybe." She stepped closer, placed the lantern in his hands and said, "Sometimes a small light is enough to find your way." Before he could ask her anything, she walked away into the darkness until she vanished. Aaron stared at the lantern's warm glow. It felt like something inside him, something he had buried, was slowly waking up. Just before sunrise, Aaron reached a familiar place, an open field from his childhood. This was where he had learned to run, to fall, to laugh, where his father had lifted him onto his shoulders and told him he could reach the sky. The memories crashed over him, sharp and painful. He set the lantern down in the grass and sank to his knees. "Dad, I'm sorry," he whispered into the quiet morning air, but the world stayed silent, just like the years he had been gone. When the first rays of the sun touched the horizon, Aaron finally reached his old house. The door was slightly open, like it had never truly closed on him, like someone had left it that way, waiting. He stepped closer. The wooden floor creaked. Then a familiar voice spoke from the doorway. "Aaron?" His father stood there, older, weaker, but with the same eyes Aaron remembered from childhood. For a moment they just stared at each other, years of pain sitting between them. Then Aaron broke. He rushed forward and collapsed into his father's arms. His voice shook as he whispered, "I'm home, Dad." His father held him tightly, the same way he did when Aaron was a child, and said softly, "That's all I ever wanted." As the morning light spread across the old house, Aaron finally understood. The longest journey he had ever taken wasn't the miles he walked, but the distance between pride and forgiveness. Home wasn't the place he returned to. Home was the moment he stopped running.